Hello, I'm Zakira and welcome back to my channel, and it is time for Zaki's 2019 recap and 2020 plans and goals. Yay! So before we get into the chatting bit of this video, just wanted to take a second to explain what you're seeing here. For this video, I decided to put together a montage of various different drawing clips that I took during 2019 with the intention of possibly turning them into videos, but they never actually made it into any videos during 2019, so it's kind of like a reel of deleted scenes, if you will. Hopefully you guys will enjoy that, and let's get into the video. So 2019 started off strong. We had just wrapped up the crowdfunding campaign for Zig's Journey, which included unboxing my very first book ever, and shipping out all of the perks to all of the campaign backers who made that project possible. This was such a busy time in my life. As a matter of fact, the 4 months that the Zig's Journey project took, from October 2018 all the way to January 2019, is still honestly a blur to me because of the sheer amount of stuff that I did during that time. But between all of the stress and hair pulling I felt about, how in the heck I was going to figure out how to do everything and to do it in such a short amount of time, I remember a much larger sense of pride, growth, humility, and gratitude hovering over everything. And by the end of it, I was feeling pretty great, honestly. But little did I know there would be a brand new challenge that just may be a whole lot more challenging than writing, drawing, and crowdfunding a book over the span of 4 months. Getting said book available to the market. However, we'll get more into that later. Little cliffhanger there for you. Moving forward, right after these 4 straight months of non-stop artistic work, I sort of understandably fell into a pit of art block. I was not sketching every day like I used to. I wasn't posting as much. But even then, through this time, I ended up getting myself to do some impression studies. Early in the year, I did make a study with your buddy Zaki video about landscape impressions, and I really started trying to pay attention more to backgrounds and lighting and colors. And in the process, I created some, pretty darn nice paintings. Dude. I don't normally praise my own work very highly, but with it being nearly a year since I painted these, and with me still being able to look at them and not cringe, I can say with a certain level of confidence that yes, these are pretty good paintings. They're not, there are things I can see in it, especially now, that could be improved for sure, but I still like them, and I think that's needs a pat on the back, because usually as artists we tend to hate our work after some time. And these studies actually definitely influenced my work drastically for 2019. Also, sometime during this whole period, I got a new camera. I've never actually owned an optical zoom camera before, okay? I'm allowed to be childishly excited. So I just thought I'd mention that happened. That is relevant in some way, I'm sure, and we'll figure out how it is relevant at a later time. Shortly after this about 2-month period of semi-art block, the month of May rolled around, and with it came the Mermaid Challenge. It was my first time participating in the challenge, but after doing Inktober for a few years successfully, I felt pretty confident trying my hand at a new month-long challenge. Every week during Mermaid, I set myself a different theme and created 7 drawings for it, and it was a pretty great opportunity to dive back into art and revive some of my older styles and explore new styles as well. And I would say if there was one defining thing that sort of showed my growth as an artist in 2019, it would be my expansion with backgrounds and lighting. Really focusing on the feeling of a piece rather than just the details. I think I especially began showing this with my digital painting. I stopped being so tight and organized with my digital work, and instead started treating it more similarly to traditional work. I used fewer layers to do everything, I used fewer tools to do everything, and developed a much more painterly, gouache aesthetic. And not to mention, I started using more color palettes other than just purple, so that was nice. Purple is great, I love purple, but I'm glad that I was able to kind of break away from that a little bit this year and do illustrations that had different color themes in it. And after this 31 days of non-stop drawing and painting, I fell into the pit of art block once again. Probably should have seen that coming. But if I'm being honest, the art block this time around wasn't really due to burnout from Mermaid, because I'm a pro, I don't get burnout from stuff like that. Okay, yes, it is a really hard challenge, and I definitely was a little burnt out after that, for sure. But my art block this time wasn't really due to art so much, but more from me just getting in my head a lot. During the early summer, I wasn't feeling too great, just in general. Nothing really happened majorly in my life, but it was more just like a million small things going on at once, and I let it all get tangled around my head. It happens to everybody sometimes, but unfortunately art block is kind of a side effect of that. However, I use the time to get outside more, be in the sun and just appreciate the peaceful, mundane things like getting groceries and driving with the windows rolled down. As summer started coming to a close, we come back around to Zig's journey. Because during this entire time, from when the campaign ended through the spring and the summer, I was also continuing in the background to try to figure out just how I was going to get Zig's journey up on the market. And after looking into practically every self-publishing angle, from marketplaces, printers, print-on-demand options, offset printing options, fees, royalties, author rights, publisher rights, formats, shipping costs, warehousing, and a whole bunch of hard-to-find legalese written terms and condition contracts written in the world's tiniest font sizes, the conclusion has been reached that as it stands right now, under these current conditions of both the format of Zig's journey and my status as a person in this civilization, it is not possible realistically to get Zig's journey up on the market as a self-published individual. Boo. If I want to keep the format of Zig's journey the same quality that it is, the same quality of the books that were sent to the crowdfunding backers, then the numbers just do not add up to be publishing it on my own. And without getting too deep into how the whole printing process works, basically, full-color case-bound books are really expensive to print in small amounts. It's fine, like totally fine if you're printing like thousands of them, but if you're only printing around 100 at a time or so, then the price per book is very high. And unless you have the kind of book that is marketed to sell in a more prestigious price range, then it's like, good luck even breaking even. And at this current time in my life, I certainly cannot afford printing huge runs of books, and even if I could, I would still not have the means or the time to properly basically become a full-on publishing house and market and promote and do everything myself, while also having time to actually write and illustrate books myself. I know there are people who have legit done all of this by themselves and have done it successfully, and it's freaking amazing, all the power to them, but it's just not the right thing for me, at least definitely not at this moment. So what does this mean? Does this mean I have given up? Nay, I say. That was so cheesy. Why did I write that into my script? There is actually a very simple solution to this that is actually not very simple at all. It's actually really hard, but I'm gonna leave you guys on the cliff again, and we're going to get back to that later in this video. Once summer gave way to autumn, my art block had lifted, and it was really starting to set in that I had some commitments I made in 2018 that I said I would do in 2019 that I had yet to do at this time, so I got to it. During 2018, Zig's Journey was not the only book project I did. There was another book project, which at the time was called the Monthly Character Series, where I created one character and wrote one story each and every month. And I made a commitment that by the end of 2019, 1 year later, I would turn that project into both a calendar and a book. So, during the month of September, I managed to fully design a calendar, and with it came the launch of my online store on Zakira.com. Yay! And after September, I had planned on getting right into finishing the book, but I got sucked into the Inktober challenge once again. So in October, I ended up starting this little comic/manga about this mysterious bell and a neighboring town that has a sort of religious belief in this bell. And there's also this cult that is against the belief in the bell called Muted. And the main character, Jill, is kind of caught up in all of this, etc., etc. Note to self, I need to write a better synopsis for this story than what I just said. But anyway, I did that for about 2 weeks and then really realized that, hey, if I was going to get my monthly character book done, I had better get on it. So I put my comic on hold and got to finishing my monthly character book, which is now called Year, a collection of short stories. I ended up drawing over 70 sketch illustrations over the span of like a month and a half, and they're all in the book. I was dead, but it was worth it. And fast forward to now, at the end of December, by the time this video goes up, it's already the start of January probably, because this video is late. The ebook version of Year, a collection of short stories, is available right now on Amazon. I'll have a link to where you can get it in the description box. You can also read it for free through Kindle Unlimited if you have that, and also through the Kindle lending library, which I will be totally honest, I don't even know what that is myself. But if you know what it is and you use it, just know that if you read my book through that, it helps to support me as well as buying the book in its entirety. So in whatever fashion you end up getting my book, thank you. And that wraps up Zaki's 2019 Rewind. And now it is time to talk about the future. So first things first, in January, I'm going to get the print version of Year made, and it will be available on Zakira.com. I had hoped to get the print version up at the same time as the ebook version, but I ended up getting behind when it came to formatting, of all things. You know, not the drawing, not the writing, not the editing, none of that stuff that we all think about when it comes to making books. No, I couldn't freaking put everything together into a readable format. Formatting this book has been a royal pain in the tuchus. I swear to God, if it would have been easier to just hand write every single page like I did with Zig's Journey, because that way every page would just be a picture. That's a lot easier to put together into a book. But now that I had to like import all of the text documents and add all of the images in digitally, and the fact that the format of the ebook needs to be done with a different program than the print version, just but I'm going to get it done. I will. Formatting is not very fun for me, but making the books is really fun for me. So I can muscle through some work that isn't as fun for the sake of the greater good. Also in January, we will see the return of the comic I started during October. I still don't have a name for it, but I'd better get one soon so I don't have to keep calling it my Inktober comic, because there has been a whole lot of drama going around that word lately, and we'll leave it at that. I'm excited to bring the comic back. However, I will most likely turn it into more of like a page a week webcomic situation rather than a page a day, just so that I can get back also to making more YouTube videos, which is another plan for 2020, and also to start a new journey, which brings us back for the third and final time in this video to Zig's Journey. Hopefully we can climb over this mountain, get off of these cliffhangers. Let's go. I mentioned that I am not giving up on Zig's journey and that there is a not so simple solution to my inability to self-publish it. And that solution is to get published by a traditional publishing house. So simple, right? Yeah, totally. Except, of course, getting published is the ever-elusive dream of practically every author in the history of authors. But it's a journey that I'm going to take. I'm going to try to get my foot in the door, I guess, and try to get myself published. I have no idea how long that will take. Nobody can ever really say how long something like getting published will take them, or if they honestly ever will get published, because it's not up to the author, obviously. But the important thing is that we keep trying, right? I'm going to try to do so with Zig's journey. I'm going to look into publishing houses that, sending it around maybe, and seeing if anybody is interested in publishing it. But if something else works better, like a different story or something, I'm going to be open to opportunities if I can get any. I've known this is the path I needed to take for a while now, but I haven't really mentioned it because I think I was kind of embarrassed, to be honest, for a while. Like, a part of me was embarrassed that I couldn't just do everything myself the way I had planned in the first place. And it feels so stupid to feel that way now, but up until now, it was just kind of hard for me to be okay with needing help, with not being able to just do everything myself, and with being limited by either my abilities or my situation or what have you. If you couldn't tell, I'm a pretty take charge of my own life kind of person. But something just sort of clicked, I don't know, in my head as of late, like just within these last couple months, to just let that go. There ain't nothing wrong with needing help. There's nothing wrong with not knowing what you're doing, and there's nothing wrong with being limited in your abilities, and just stop expecting so goddamn much from yourself. Because the more you try to make sure everything is up to you, all you're doing is making sure that every single thing that doesn't work out is your own fault, even when it really isn't. Because if we all grabbed a little humility in our lives, we would know that there is nothing in this world that we can really honestly control the outcome of. And just, you don't need that kind of anxiety in your life, dude. I think it's important to just be accepting and honest with yourself and with the people around you, because that helps everybody. It helps you feel less anxious, and it also can help others who may be trying to do the same thing, to see what you're doing or have done and maybe learn from you. So yeah, to not get too deep here, I'm gonna try to get published. I'm not going to put that as like my New Year's resolution, because again, I have no idea how long something like that will take or if it will ever happen. But at least I'm going to make a resolution to start. I'm going to choose to try and to work hard and do my absolute best, because that is something that I have control over. Now, as for other art goals for 2020, one thing that I really want to do is get back to making weekly YouTube videos. I have missed the routine so much lately, so I'm going to make an effort to get back on track there. Also, I want to reboot my Study with Your Buddy Zaki series, and I want to turn it into an actual, legit series, maybe something that would reoccur once a month. And I'm thinking about opening it up more to you guys by perhaps making a hashtag that you guys can use on social media if you decide to do your Zakira homework. And then I could give you guys shoutouts at the end of the videos every month. So we can all get better with our art together and also perhaps help boost each other's audiences at the same time. If that sounds like something you guys would like to see and like to participate in, please let me know in the comments, as well as if you have any, more suggestions for something like that and how to do that, let me know. Also, if you have hashtag suggestions, I'm all ears because I have no idea what to call it. Maybe something simple like Study with Zaki or something like that. Another thing I want to do in 2020 is to make more things for my online shop. I have so many ideas of things that I want to create, so I just gotta make myself time to make them. That's what it's up to here. And as for my more personal self-improvement art goals for 2020, I want to improve with my traditional art more, particularly with watercolors, and I'm hoping to try some gouache as well at some point. because gouache looks so much like what my digital paintings look like, so I feel like it's kind of meant to be. I don't know though, I've never used them. I may end up hating them, but we'll see. It seems like a really interesting medium because it's like watercolor, but it's opaque, so I don't know, we'll see how that works, if I can ever get my hands on any as well. I also want to improve my overall knowledge surrounding the planes of the face, the structure of the face, and with lighting and stuff, and just get more detailed with my knowledge around rendering, especially with faces and bodies. I think 2019 helped me a lot to understand impression and in a broader sense with lighting and colors and stuff like that, but now I really want to get a little more detailed and apply what I've learned in 2019 into a much more refined manner, I guess. We'll see. I'm also making a New Year's resolution right here, right now, that I will share some of my singing, aka my songs that I have been writing for like 2 years, but I've been too shy to share. Yes, it was actually my inner New Year's resolution for 2019 to do this, but I just couldn't get myself to do it, no matter how much I tried. But it's time though, to just get over this thing, and hopefully by announcing it publicly now, I will actually do it for 2020. You hear me, Zakura? You gotta do it. So yeah, those are my New Year art resolutions. Really, to sum it up, it's make more art and make better art. Isn't that the resolution of every day of being an artist? Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to smack that thumbs up. Smack it hard. And let me know in the comments, what are some of your biggest takeaways from 2019 and what your plans are for 2020? I'd love to hear from you guys, as always. Thank you all for the support this year, even through my on and off video uploads. We've made it to 800 subscribers, which is amazing, and thanks, of course, for the support on my projects, for supporting me through my online shop, or through purchasing my book. It means the world. Also, if you do get my book and you enjoy it, please do consider writing an honest review on Amazon, as that legit helps me out so much with getting more seen there. So yeah, no pressure, of course, but you would be doing me like a huge favor if you could just share your genuine thoughts and your genuine, honest feedback over there. And yeah, thanks again for watching. I will see you all soon, and for this new year and new decade, I wish you all to stay awesome, stay inspired, always. See you!